God have exposed the devil. This is Voice of Wonders. If you are coming across our video for the first time, please don't forget to like our video, subscribe so that you'll be the first to get a notification whenever we upload our video. And please, if you have any question, please put it down on the comment section. As God helping us, we'll do our best to reply to your comments, and then by the lead of God, we'll be able to give you answers to those your problems.
We carry the control of people much in our heads, and the control we want to have over the people. If they're not responding the way we want them to respond, then we go astray and we hurt ourselves. We stop our journey. We manifest bad temper, and we're trying to rule over other people. And understand, not everybody will accept that kind of control and that rule. They say, mind your business. I have my life to live. I didn't get converted because of you. I didn't know you when I was born again. I had the word of God. I'm in the kingdom. I know the word. I will direct my life. But we'll say, no, you're not direct your life. I will direct you. I will control you. If you don't accept my rulership over you, I will get angry. Get angry, and then you lose a lot. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. Meaningless anger. In ministry, anger we cannot put any value to. Doesn't have any advantage. Doesn't have any meaning. Meaningless anger in ministry. Let's look at number one. Number one, we're looking at the inconsiderate anger of thankless ministers. In Jonah chapter 4, we're reading from verse 1. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. What displeased him? God had spared the Ninevites. He had said, yet 40 days and Nineveh sure will be overthrown. And those people, from the king to all the cabinets and to all the people of Nineveh, and even the beasts, they fasted. They were not going to eat or drink anything. And the Lord saw that those people of Nineveh, from top to the bottom, from the highest to the lowest, that they repented, and he turned away the judgment, and he had mercy on them. Jonah was thankless. He too had gone astray. He had been in the ship, and it was a great storm. What shall we do unto thee? And they threw him, according to his own word request, they threw him into the sea, and the whale swallowed him up. And he prayed, and he said, I will look in the direction of the temple of the Lord. He said, I forsook the right way, and I forsook the way of my salvation. And the Lord saw that, and had mercy on him. And the whale dropped him at the shore. And a new chance came that he would rise up and go and talk to Nineveh, and he forgot the mercy that God has shown unto him. Thankless of the mercy. If we remember, since we became born again, some foolish things we did and God forgave. Some unscriptural things were said and God forgave. Some outright sin we even committed since we became born again, and God forgave. And now we are standing, and we now happen to be a minister. We now happen to be a teacher of the word, and somebody does similar thing that we ourselves, remember that year, you remember that time, we did that thing, and God forgave another person now under our leadership, by grace, not by right. Jonah shouldn't have been called back to come to Nineveh. It was not by right, it was by grace. And now God forgave the Ninevites, and the man got angry. When we get angry like that, we're thoughtless, we're thankless. Look at verse 2. In verse 2, it says, and he prayed unto the Lord and said, I pray thee, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish. He was even glorifying his backsliding. I had a reason for going to Tarshish. And now this is what I was thinking of. He was bragging about his deviation, about his going astray. Do you do that? When you're looking at others and you're not thinking of what mercy the Lord had shown you, you just become a thankless, thoughtless minister. And now you're even bragging about what happened in the past. And it says, for I knew that thou art a gracious God and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil. Look at verse 3. In verse 3 it says, therefore now, O Lord, take, I beseech thee, my life from me. Jonah, when you were in the whale's belly, have you forgotten? You prayed earnestly, so you will not die in the whale's belly. And God answered your prayer. The prayer, the life you preserved, and the death you avoided. At that time you are now saying, take my life. When people are angry at something, they forget what happens after death. I want to die. They are angry. You know, things are not going the way they expected. And they are not getting what they think they want to, and things are not going their way. The action of God to the Ninevites didn't go the way of Jonah. So I want to die. If you die like that, where will you spend eternity? They are thankless and they are thoughtless of the kind of prayer they are praying. And then it says, for it is better for me to die than to live. Look at verse 4. In verse 4, then said the Lord, dost thou do well to be angry, Jonah? Think. Do you do well to be angry? Jonah, think of the mercy I had upon you, and think of who you are talking to, and think of the almightiness of God. And you just a little man here that received the mercy of God, and you're talking to God like this. Jonah, do you do well to be angry? Look at verse 9. In verse 9, and God said to Jonah, doest thou well to be angry for the God? And he said, I do well to be angry, even unto death. You see, we need to be very thoughtful. The way we feel in our heart, the heat we feel in our heart, the emotion that we feel in our heart, and slow down and think. And when you think, then thank the Lord for what he has done for you. And no anger will remain. Look at John chapter 7. Reading from verse 23. John 7 verse 23. If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken, are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? Think of the burden I took away from his family. This man that had been impotent 38 years, Think of the joy I brought to his life. Think of the goodness that I brought from heaven. And I've not done only to this man, to your relatives, to the people who are sick. And you are angry because I did that on the Sabbath day. Are you right to be angry? Because I made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day. Verse 24. In verse 24, judge not according to appearance. Many times, something appears to be like this, and we judge. We're too hasty, we're too fast to make a conclusion. And then that leads to unnecessary anger. But judge righteous judgment. We're looking at Luke chapter 15. I'm reading from verse 26. Luke 15, 26. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things mean. There's the elder brother of the prodigal son that came back home. And the father was happy. They were married. He was coming from the field, and then he checked up what's happening at home. Look at verse 27. In verse 27, and he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father has killed the fatted calf, because he has received him safe and sound, that he didn't die in the far country. Look at the next verse there, verse 28. And he was angry. And he was angry. Elder brother, what are you angry about? Your junior, the people that just came, the people that just got converted, the people that just came into the kingdom, or the people that are just restored. We're so happy that the prodigal, the backslider, has now repented. And as he has repented, we're so happy. We'll say, stay here. Do this, and we give him opportunity and assignment, and then we give him free hand and free interaction with the people who are here. And the man is happy. He said, this is what I've been missing. And then you are there, elder brother, elder sister, and you've been faithful. You didn't backslide, you didn't go out. You've been faithfully working for the Lord. And now the fellow that just came, all attention is on him, all attention is on her, and you get angry. You were there by grace. You remained by grace. You were serving by grace. It is not of merit. And so, if favor had been shown now to the fellow that just came back, to the fellow that just got converted, it was not like that before. Before I became a worker, I stayed 7 years. Before I became a location pastor, I stayed 10 years. Before I became a district pastor, I was there, and they interviewed me and schooled me and did everything before I became this. And now this fellow has come. They are lowering the standard. They are rejoicing. They are merry because this fellow just came back. Be thoughtful. Don't be like, the thankless Jonah. The Lord has shown mercy to you, and now you are not, showing mercy to the person that just came back, and he was angry and was not going. Therefore came his father out and entreated, slow down. Kill that lion inside. We're not made to live our lives in impetuosity. The reason God has given us brain is to think before you leap, is to meditate. What's going to be the result of this? Look at Daniel chapter 2, reading from verse 11. Daniel chapter 2, verse 11. And it is a rare thing that the king requires, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. Look at verse 12. In verse 12, for this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar, can we talk? Can we reason together? All the wise men, all the counselors, all the advisors, advisor on economy, advisor on, commercial thing, advisor on public relations, advisor on religion, advisor, all the advisor, all the special advisor, kill them. The man was thoughtlessly angry. When you kill all the wise men, how do you replace them immediately? Even Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had to go to school in Babylon and learn all the Chaldean language and all the Chaldean science and everything, kill them, destroy them. When we're angry, we forget that we need all these people for our lives, for our calling, for ministry, for support, for our progress. Thoughtless. When you get angry, don't act. Whatever makes you angry, why don't you sit and relax and think about it? If I do this, if I do that, if I do that, and kill and destroy all the advisors, all the helpers, all the supporters, what will happen? You get angry at your wife. If I do this, what happens to the children? You get angry at your husband. If I do this, what happens to the children, to the home? What happens to your name? What happens to your future? Nebuchadnezzar was not thinking. Look at verse 13. In verse 13, and the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. If they had gone on like that, Daniel would not have been able to interpret the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, and Daniel would not have been able to interpret the other dream that came in chapter 4. Be thoughtful anytime something like that happens. Proverbs chapter 27, reading from verse 3. A stone is heavy and a sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Look at verse 4. In verse 4, wrath is cruel, anger is outrageous. Anger is outrageous, and it does outrageous things in our lives. Look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause, without thinking, without meditating, without thinking through, thus does this justify anger? Does this justify uprooting everything and scattering everything? Does this justify the destruction of property and life? Does this justify destroying, demolishing what it took 50 years to build up? Find out. And when you think and find out, you'll be slow in your action. That whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Reka, that means empty-headed fellow, anger, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, because of anger, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Verse 23. In verse 23, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother has aught against thee. Verse 24. It says, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Number 3.
You've heard what Pastor Kumuyi said. Please search yourself. Is there any of this character that resembles you, that's talking about you? Because I know once the message is sent forth, it's for a particular person. If this is you, in the church, because this person just came in and then they're giving him some opportunities and you think they're lowering the standard or whatever, even in your company, your brothers, your family, they're having issues, please, heaven is real. Hellfire is real. And you know that this boy place can never be empty. Somebody have to occupy it. So ask for the grace of God. He will give you. You overcome. Thank you very much. See you on the next video.